Well, hello, mission friends of the Pacific Northwest Conference. I'm Dawn Taloyo, your Associate Superintendent, and today I'm here to introduce a new pastor to our conference. I'd like to introduce Reverend Adria Willette-Leonardo, and she is the new Associate Pastor at Bellingham Covenant Church. Just 2 months now? Is that about right,
Mhm.
Adria?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to the Pacific Northwest. You also just moved to a whole new region of the country from Chicago, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Yep.
glad
All
you're
new.
everything's new. Well, welcome. Let's take a
Thank
little bit
you.
of time to get to know you and introduce you to our conference. So I want to begin with a little bit. Can you just briefly talk about your personal or ministry background?
Sure. Well, they're connected. So I was born and raised in Mexico and Arizona. My parents worked with Wycliffe in Mexico, SIL, translating the Bible. So I was born and raised mostly between Mexico and Arizona. And I assumed I would be a missionary growing up, and I was wanted to be a writer. So I figured there must be a role for a missionary writer of some kind. Um, so but it was in college. I had a Bible minor and really enjoyed that and loved it. And then did a mission trip to Tanzania my summer after my sophomore year. And that was a new experience for me of God saying, no, this is not what you're going to do. You're
Oh,
not going to be a missionary. And so that was like, oh. So it took a couple years, and it's a whole nother long story, but ended up working in youth ministry and sensing a call to ministry. So I have worked in a variety of things. I have worked in two small churches as a solo pastor. I've worked as a hospice chaplain, hospital chaplain, worked in Arizona for a nonprofit around immigration, putting water in the desert and advocating humane border policies.
wow.
And what else have I done? Worked at Starbucks for a while. In between. So yeah, so have a lot of different roles and
You sure do. Wow, what a
yeah.
wealth of experiences and places
Mhm.
and peoples that you have worked with. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what are you passionate about in ministry now and in this particular season of life and being at Bellingham?
Yeah. So I partly took the associate pastor because I wanted to focus more on like go from being a generalist to a specialist, as I say to some people. I think a, helping people grow in their walk with God and awareness of God, experiencing God. And that comes through a lot of different spaces. I love creating experiences for people to encounter God. So through study of scripture, through service, through relationship, through worship, um, I am really passionate about lately is connecting art and prayer. And so that's
Mhm.
something I've been working on, but I love anything to do with scripture, preaching, teaching, Bible study, all of that. So
Lovely.
yeah,
And we share a vocation of spiritual
yes.
direction
And I'm
too, and you're in
training,
training.
training for
That's
that. Yep.
and
So
what
love, yeah,
are
spiritual formation. Awesome.
yeah, all of it's related. What would you say are three traits that define you or kind of characterize you?
I'd like to say I'm a warm person. Love people for the most part, even though I am somewhat on the introverted scale. Way too talkative and flexible. Flexible, but I've lived in so many different places and served in different settings that,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's
I
funny you
just,
talk about being an introvert, but then you say you're way too talkative.
yeah.
I would normally put those
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I
Like
guess I'm,
being
yeah, out loud processor. I don't know why, but yeah.
totally.
Hmm.
Um, where is your favorite place to be?
And I think this is where my introverted self comes in. I love to be curled up on my couch with a blanket and a book or a good friend.
Hmm.
And I think that, but also the woods. I love the woods. So
Hmm.
maybe if I could have two favorite places. I
Okay.
also love the woods. So
So you like hiking?
hiking, sitting also, but yeah, hiking and trees. I have one of those Audubon books that tells you what different trees are.
Oh, wow.
So
Well, you
yeah,
moved
really
to the
connect
right
with God
place,
through
didn't you?
nature. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
How about what would you do for a career if you weren't here or pastoring or doing what you're doing now?
I would, I was thinking a park ranger. I think would
Oh,
be a lot of fun.
well, there you
A park
go.
ranger would be a lot of fun. Yeah, as long as it didn't involve like chasing poachers or something like that. But
Okay, right.
um,
There's that.
yeah, so that or managing a bookstore.
Oh, two
So
very
yeah,
different but fun they sound. I'm
yeah,
excited for you then living in the Pacific Northwest. You have a whole new area to explore and
yeah. So
parts to get
excited
to.
about being able to be outside, in all weather, almost all weather,
Right.
and yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Well, how can we, as a conference, as mission friends, be praying for you during this
I
time?
guess just as the adjustment, it is a big cultural change. The people at Bellingham Covenant have been so welcoming and lovely people, and we're really enjoying the Pacific Northwest. But it is a big adjustment to be everything's new, um, and new job, new car, new new house, everything. So
Yeah.
adjusting and being able to lead well, listen well, take care of myself well in the midst of all of that.
Mhm.
And then also, we're both of our parents, my husband and my parents, are in their later 70s and facing, which isn't old, but they're starting to face significant health crises. And so we're starting to ask those questions of how do we support them well
Yeah.
from afar for the
Yeah,
most part, um, and especially in this time of life,
for sure.
what does that look like?
Yeah.
So all of that, and to really, I guess, to empower people to serve God, to join God in his work in the world.
Mm, yeah. Well, we will hold those in prayer and you and this transition. And it's been great to talk and get to know you. You are a warm
Likewise.
person. I have experienced that and welcoming, and I'm excited for Bellingham Covenant to have you and get to know you. So thank you. Thanks
Thanks.
for taking this time
Yeah.
and introducing yourself.